bum, 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 bum.
Hey, I know it's like that. Good morning, everybody. How's your Thursday morning going? Tonia Reeves, Australia's Cowgirl medium, here with the awesome Tony Kiss, who's now joined the 50s Club. We're very excited, Tony. You've got every excuse now to do whatever you like. You've got
Pretty
our
much,
permission.
Thank you very much. It's good to be let off the leash at the age of 50 and allows me to do whatever. Just gives me free reign. It's good to see you, Tonia. Yeah, no, look, it is 50. Hello, everybody out there in TNT Thursday community. Good to see you all on board. Hey, if you're online, just jump. If you're in that wonderful place called Facebook, jump online and say g'day. Say g'day, Tony. G'day, Tonia. How you doing? Ask all these questions, and that's all you do. If you stumbled across us, which I hope you did, which would be like, geez, that's like, whoa, who are these two? Look, Tonia Reeves, best medium in the world. She talks to dead people that have passed away and connects you with spirits that you loved. She does a great job. We've got Margaret on board. We've got Jen on board. Thank you so much. Yes, happy birthday, happy 50th, Tony. Yes, it was a happy 50th. You know what I've just realized, Jen and Tonia and Margaret and everybody else listening? I hang out. This is what I've realized turning 50. I had all my friends and family there. There was 8 of us. No, stop it. I had heaps. But I just realized, Jen, Margaret, and Tonia, and everybody else there, I see you guys a lot more than I do my friends and family because we catch up every week. And isn't it funny? Like you bump. Have you ever had that time, that realization, like you see family, like weddings, funerals? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like, wow, we commit to this once a week more than we commit to everything else. And it's not until we have things come up that make us a bit more aware of, time and making space, isn't it, for others?
Absolutely. Yeah. That was one thing that we don't do enough of. We always make excuses to do other things and whatnot. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Amanda, hi, how are you? Welcome on board. Amanda, is this your first time on board? Maybe not. Maybe you've been on heaps, but you're just under another name. But hi, how are you? Let's talk. What's been going on? Tonia Reeves, everybody else, tell me what's been going on in your world. Let's see what's been happening. It's been some crazy stuff. There's been a double moon and blue moon and
retrogrades and you name it. It's been really full on. And it's, well, I always roll with, because of my work and I connect with so many people, there's always a theme. So for me, the most common thing that's been coming up for many at the moment is a lot of people are in that, I call it like the space in between. So it's like in a bit of a holding pattern and almost like letting go of the old and, embracing the new, but the new's kind of just out of reach, which often energetically with the retrogrades and things isn't a bad thing. And it's just allowing us to reset. So for many people, the message that keeps coming up is holding faith and having patience.
Yeah, having patience. Now, that's a hard thing. Hey, Nick, how are you? Good to see you on board, buddy. Amanda, I'm glad it's first time on. I'm going to explain to Amanda what's going on. But I'm with you. I like that holding pattern. Mel, great to see you on board. Jen comes on with, no, not just Mercury in retro. Yeah. There is something like 7 or 8 that are or have been all at once. You know what? Whilst I've got you here, Jen, I love how you brought this up. I've got a client who's come in and she's seeing 11s and 1s together everywhere.
I love that.
She wants to know what it meant.
Number one, getting the 1s all the time is exciting, is a new path, is changes coming. All the 1s are really powerful, and often they'll represent like a doorway leading into something new, like Jen's put there, synchronicity.
Yeah.
It's really, really a great one to connect with. So to me, that's one of my favorite when I get the 1s. I know there's either a new opportunity coming or there's a door opening or there's something, starting. And like Jen's put, new beginnings.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah,
so
thank you for that. I'll pass that on. I'll pass that on to her because when she said it was just after we got off, like she was there and she goes, I've been seeing 1s everywhere and then I've been seeing these signs. So I told her about you, how you're big into seeing signs and things like that and whatnot. And the 1s means a new beginning. Hey, let's just invite Amanda in. Amanda, look, welcome on board to TNT Thursday. It's a community that was started up in COVID. Tonia Reeves and I just thought, you know what, we can't get out and about and let's just have a whole lot of people come on board. Tonia Reeves is a medium, so her specialty is dealing with people that have passed away and connecting them to you. My background's a mental health counselor and a business owner, and I own a physiotherapy business now in Pilates studio with my partner Orla. And we combine our special forces together with the rest of the community to work out world problems, which is out in our community. We don't know what's going to happen every week, Amanda. We just go with it. We just go, hey, this is what's come up. And now, as you're saying, like, for example, Mel's come up. Hey, Mel, how are you? And I'm sorry to hear about this. You got super emotional for this week for no good reason either. Yeah, so let's talk about that. That's an interesting, because when you get super emotional, have you ever had this, Tonia, or everybody else out there, where you go, you don't know why, but it's just you're reacting to whatever and things aren't going well? What could be going on here for Mel? Because that's a tough one.
Look, it is with all the retrogrades and energetically, things are, it's almost like, to me, the energy's been shedding and a lot of people are letting go of the old. So we're getting opportunities, or have been getting the opportunities, to heal, which is often things come up for us that we need to address. And sometimes the emotion side of it comes up because there's an aspect to it that we might not be looking at something in a certain way, and we're, the soul's feeling a bit suppressed. So we're feeling really, that sense of emotion is the body's way of bringing our attention to something.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. So Mel, let me know if that resonates with you, because that's quite interesting. And that's, if anybody else has got something like that. I mean, like, for me, I can't say I'm in the same boat. No, I wish I could, but I've been chosen. I had to be all positive, didn't I? I had my 50th, and now I'm getting married next weekend. So I ain't doing no Debbie Downers here. I've got no room. Mel, if I did, I've had to suppress it. It'll come up out after the wedding or something like that. But yeah, look, I'd love everybody else to reach out if you because it's really nice to hear if somebody else has been through a similar thing as well. Sort of helps you, makes you feel like you're not too crazy. Renee, how are you? Good morning. Great to have you on board. I like what Nick's got here. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick's one is good. The triple ones, can be double or triple, I find. You're on the right path. I know I'm not moving on a physical level. I am on a spiritual level as I continue to see the numbers coming in. And often That's it. The numbers are coming in with signs.
Yep. Yeah,
and it's absolutely. To take notice. It's a powerful way of spirit getting your attention, because we're so logical. Numbers make sense to us, don't they?
Do you know, I'm going to be ringing this client, as soon as I get off this, because two things. She needs to know, and the other thing is my memory's shit. So it has to be straight after this. Guys, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. No, seriously, thanks. You guys have really, 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 that's so cool. How you've got that. All without Tonia Ann too, by the way. She'll be furious. I know. She missed out on this one.
She'll be on. No doubt she'll be joining in. Songs of late, getting lyrics that aren't making sense, but the title of the song. Hey, here's the wedding. Here's the bride to be. I'm so excited. We can't wait. We can't wait. We're like, one day can't go fast enough.
I liked your email back of like, you'll be wearing your cowboy boots and Andrew won't be wearing his heels. He's very disappointed. Good to see you. I've just been dragged in between patients, but good to see you guys. And I'll see you next weekend.
Yeah, can't wait. So excited.
Bye to everyone else.
So for those who don't know, Tony and Orla are getting married, not this weekend, but the next. And so I'll just share, Tony, the email I got to say that, so you're getting married on the bowling green. So there's no heels allowed.
No high heels, yes.
No high heels. And I was like, hell yes, that means cowboy boots all the way for me.
Yep. Yeah, you're laughing. You're absolutely laughing on that one.
I was like, yay, my days of wearing heels are over. I can't be bothered now. So I'm excited. I've officially got the, I normally would wear boots regardless, but it's great to officially get the thing to go with, But I did throw in there when I responded to Orla, I put Andrew's a bit disappointed because he wanted to wear his heels.
Yes, he would be bitterly disappointed on that. I tell you what, the first thing I went to was I went online and said I tried to look for you know those the slippers that you get at hospitals and that, or at hotels and that, and they're the disposable ones. I was trying to get a whole lot of them for the wedding, but Kmart have got thongs at $1.50, so I just gave it a whole lot of them. But Monica was
bare feet. I like Monica's bare feet.
Bare feet. Yeah, I'm with you, Mon. Yep. Wow, Monica, super session this morning for you. 5:45 a.m. yoga till 7 a.m. this morning. You must be stretched out and feeling fantastic. Thank you for the congratulations, Jen and Nick and everybody else. Very, very cool. Look, Bridget's at the hairdresser's getting my hair done. And you're listening to this.
Hey, Bridge, say hello to Naomi for me.
I love your commitment, Bridget. It's not like, look, I've got to get my hair, but I've got to listen to the community, TNT Thursday. They need me. They need me right now. We do need you, Bridget. Absolutely.
Love it. And Bridget's at my favourite hairdresser, Naomi, who used to work alongside me in my salon, and she's an incredible hairdresser. She's probably the best hairdresser around our area, which is nice. I'll give a shout out to Gnomes.
Nice.
Yeah, Jen's put bare feet on, no shoes.
Yeah.
We might. So I might have to take my boots and socks off. I don't mind being barefoot.
I like where Monica's gone straight away. Oh, geez, you'll need to get your toenails done.
Yes, thanks, Mon. Yeah, better put that on the list.
I know, it's very, very funny. Good times. They definitely
and Monica's
will be.
got a job. Hey,
no way.
Great
Tell me
that, Monica. Woohoo! Last week finished up. This week back in.
Yep.
Can I just share too? Because I did have a connection with Monica, and she really surrendered to this process rather than feeding into, oh my God, I've lost my job. What am I going to do? How's it going to work? Blah, blah, blah. She really just said, you know what? I'm just trusting the universe. And look, within a week that's happened. I love it, Monica. Make sure you share that because people need to hear that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That is fantastic. I love. Yeah, if you want to share a little bit with us now, Monica, just your experience, that will be really nice. I think it'll be quite helpful for some of us out there. And it's just nice to hear a good positive story because, geez, when you get let go of one place, you think, geez, where am I going to find work? And then you find it and like, hey, happy days. But there's been a bit of that, Tonia. I know people that have been made redundant and within a week or two have got a new job.
Yep. Absolutely. There's a lot of change around at the moment as well.
Retrograde, people, retrograde. Let's write that word down, all three of them.
And we feel like we need to know, as humans, I think that's our biggest curse is really wanting to know the next step all the time rather than just sitting back and being patient and allowing it to happen. And it really, Monica's a great example. She was very calm about it. She said, look, I'm not in my head over it. And this is, Monica's on her own. So she's not got a backup plan there. She's doing this by herself, and that's massive. And I really want to give a big shout out to you, Mon, because that's not easy when it all comes back to you and suddenly the rug's pulled out. That's massive amount of trust and faith. And I just think that's awesome.
Yep. Well, Nick's got a nice one, and then Bridget's got a juicy one. Bridget, we're getting on to yours, mate. Don't you worry.
Tony's all over that, like a rash.
Yeah. All right. You read out this one. I'll read out Bridget's one with pleasure.
I love this one. I can relate to this, Nick. I find sometimes I'm forced to stop on a physical level so I can sit with myself and allow my true emotions to flow and express, to allow my life to flow again, not suppressing them like I used to. So now I don't hold on to the tears. I let them go in my own space, which is beautiful, Nick. And how many of us, I think if you look at probably the age demographic that are on here, and I know we vary, but for most of us, I believe we would have not been able to express our emotions growing up. So it is.
No way. Not our generation, Tonia.
Step back in.
No, Nick, what you're saying here, Tonia, you remember when all of us on this feed, because we're of that age, ladies and gentlemen, where we were encouraged to suppress emotions and not to express them whatsoever, or at least talk about them, And Nick, what you're saying here is now you're getting more into a flow. It's go, it is what it is. I'm just going to go with it. Love it. It's so empowering, is it, Tonia, from what he's saying? It's quite funny, Nick, not to steal your thunder here, but I actually practiced that as well. at my 50th, I gave the birthday speech, and I never forget this, guys. I don't know if you've ever had this, anybody out there. I got up and I'm standing in front of area. There's about 40 or 50 of us out there. It was all close family and friends. And as I stood up there, I thought, I had a few jokes in my head that I was going to go with and everything like that. And I got up and this wave of emotion just hit me. Absolutely hit me. And Nick, I did what you did, Nick. So I just went with it. I didn't try to hold it back. And I got quite teary-eyed. And I had my auntie there, and it was her 62nd wedding anniversary. The day before, September 1st, is when hers is. So my birthday, September 2nd. So it's the day before. And my uncle passed away. Her husband passed away, what was it, a year ago. So this was her first wedding anniversary without him. And I gave special mention to her, and I got very teary-eyed. And then, Nick, I realised, and I've said it to Orla as well, that my mum and dad aren't around anymore. And they weren't here to see my 50th. And that was quite interesting. That was, we talk about this, Tonia, where you go, what's the impact of somebody dying? And everyone goes, yeah, you're fine. But it's just for me, it's little moments like that where it is. But Nick, I went with it. I didn't try to, how I go, I just have to compose myself. I'm sorry about this. I didn't mean to be all emotional. Nick, I took your advice and just went, but how liberating is it, Nick, when you get into that? It really is. And that's what it sounds like you're saying here, Nick, where you just go, bang, it's great. Let's just rock and roll. So, yeah, really, really interesting.
Great share. Love that. Thank you, Nick. And thanks for you too, Tony, because it is probably as females, we do it a little bit easier. Whereas for
bloody
men,
pathetic.
that was
like, get it together, woman. Just hold the tears back. Jeez, all we're talking about is a puppy dog. Then you get all teary-eyed.
Yeah. Doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, we're learning. Us males are learning a lot from you females on how to communicate more effectively and more lovingly. So it's good. Just in case anybody was going to sue me, I just thought I'd throw that in.
You've got to read Bridget's, Tony, because I know you're all over this. I love it.
Is anyone else having trouble with rude people this week? I've had dealings with 3 rude ones this week. 3. Bridget, let's have a look. Is this something common? But Bridget, what I'm going to say is never come to the eastern suburbs in Sydney because this is a daily occurrence. I'm telling you now. People have their heads shoved up their backsides when it comes to I don't get it. I don't understand because it's a knock-on effect, right? So this is, I don't know about you guys. Just help me out. Look, if somebody's had, rude people or dealings, but the thing is, I'll be quite honest with you, Bridget, we have it daily, like whether it's in traffic or whatever, people just don't have time of day for anybody else. And they're quite abrupt and they're quite rude. Now, were we talking about this last week, Tonia? I'm not too sure. It was the knock-on effect, like where you, the butterfly effect, so to speak. So if somebody's angry with you, then you take on that anger, then you'll have that anger transpire onto somebody else, and then it'll keep on going and going and going. But the opposite was if you're happy or smiling and you say good morning to somebody and you put them in a good mood, could that have the same effect as well? Sort of thing. Because, Bridget, for you, tell me what happened and what kind of mood did it put you in? I know you're getting your hair done. By the way, Bridge, your hair's looking fantastic. That's just a bit more, just a bit more of a flick to the side and she'll nail that. I love the color that you've gone for as well. Do you reckon what do you reckon she's going to get? Okay, clairvoyance out here. Tell us what hairstyle Bridget is getting at the moment. $100 for the winner if you get it right.
And can I say I love your profile picture, Bridge, of you and Dad. It's beautiful. I just noticed as it's.
Yep.
Monica's put in here. My question for Bridget is, what are you being shown or what are you reflecting? So when we look at, and there's so many out there that talk of this is, looking at when something's happening over and over rather than, and I agree with Jen, it's their issue, not yours, but why is it being brought to your attention? So that's an interesting one,
Why is it pissing you off for? That's the question. Yeah.
Stop thinking and feeling into it. Thinking puts you in your head, feeling goes to your heart. So I like that, what Monica's shared there. Because, sometimes it is about, to me, sometimes if I come across a lot of rude people, I start to look at the reverse of that, which is having compassion and empathy. And then I start to go, okay, feed into, that compassion and empathy towards them and see if that shifts that.
I get what you're saying, but I think there's a stage to get there. I like it that I get pissed off. I'm like, somebody cuts me, I go, what a dickhead, right? So I have that thought. I'm cool with it, but I know it doesn't pay dividends, but it feels good. It's like a hot dog with the light.
I like to throw it off, Bridget. When they're rude, just say, and how's your day going?
Yeah, I get that.
And how are you? Like, really flip it.
You still got to have, Bridget, I still reckon you've got to have that. You're a dickhead. But then my flip thought is, right, I go, oh, what's going on in their life for them to actually be like that? That's what I think. Okay, there must be something bad happening in their life. And that's where the compassion comes from. Because I'm not, I suppose, enlightened enough or like Dalai Lama enough to go, oh, I'm just going to give you compassion because I'm so cool. I'm going to go, no, you've pissed me off. Oh shit, what's going on in your life? It must be bad. So I need a process to get there. That's
look, some people don't realize that they're being rude. Some people they
could be South African.
South African.
No, German. No, I'm
German, it is. I've got a few friends that are German. They're very much like they just say it as it comes, and it can be it can sound really rude, but they're not. It's just their way of their speech, and they just come out with it. And I'm like, I admire that.
Yeah, look, absolutely. That say all the Dutch, but look, we had a guy who came over putting a new range hood in the kitchen, right? I'm German, be nice. Now, you'll like this, Monica. Check this out. This is called Full Backflip. A guy called Wilhelm, lovely guy. But when he was on the phone, I was getting, because he'd never say hello on the phone. Like I'd ring him and then he changed the appointment and he was running late and everything like that. And it was, so I started to create this frame in my head of what Wilhelm, the German handyman's like. I've never met him before. And in my head, I was like, oh man, this guy's really, really rubbing me up the wrong way. And I think I consciously went, no, I'm just going to be neutral here. I'm not going to blah, blah. He comes in, and I think within a minute or so, we were like best of friends. He was the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. If there was more room at the wedding, he'd be definitely invited. So he's got this German background. He's around about 60 years old, and we basically just started chatting because my background's Hungarian, and we started talking about anything we could have, which was porcelain. We talked about porcelain dolls and statues and that, because the Germans do a lot of it, the Hungarians do it quite a lot, and I had one from my grandmother, and we saying, oh, look at this, look at that. And it was great. So we can sometimes, like with Wilhelm, what I found out was, because another phone call came through, and all he does is he gets people that are constantly ringing and just busting his balls all the time. Like, I need this done. I need it done yesterday. Da, 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 da. So he's just got, Wilhelm, yep, what do you want? Yep. So now I understood where he was coming from. And I totally go, oh shit, no wonder you answer the phone like that. So it was me being a dick is basically what I'm saying. I don't have a nice enough term to say that, but I had to reframe. That's what happened.
It is, isn't it? It's all about perception. It really is.
Yep.
All
you
about
need
perception.
A Maltese handyman, Bridget. I know, they're pretty good.
I like that, Bridge.
Do they make salami as well? Because I know Tony does.
So Jen's got a good one here. Yes, Tony, and I say to others, usually teenagers, when shit's hit the fan, someone is mean or says something mean, I just say it's a reflection of them, not you. They must have some pretty crappy stuff going on with their life, and it's called projection.
Yes, nice one, Jen. I love it.
Yeah, good call. Good call. What's been happening with everybody else this week? How are we finding things? Gay, good morning. How are you? How's the packing up going? Gay's packing up a house of, is it 30 years, Gay? I'm like, that would be that would be so daunting to me. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, all those years of having stuff, like I would need 12 months, I reckon, to move out.
Yeah.
So you're pretty
Absolutely.
amazing, Kate.
I
Very,
think it
very
is.
amazing.
I think it's quite impressive, actually. It is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around. So retrogrades just really told us to 35 years. There you go. Disappointed on that one. But good stuff. There's a lot of changes though at the moment. I think you've just jumped on board, but we're saying like Monica left a job and then got into a job very, very quickly. And I found a few other people have actually things that have been around like for jobs where they've been 17, 20 years plus have all of a sudden come to a halt and they're jumping into something new. And Gay, what they're saying, it's a sign of the times. It means that's what's happening at the moment. So exactly what's happening in your life right now, after 35 years, I think, I'm going to say it, I think it's meant to be.
That's right. Big shifts, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
How does everyone handle change, though? Isn't it interesting how we all, for me, I love change. So that's not the worst thing for me. If something comes up and it's about movement or change, I get excited. But I know for the most part, a lot of people that I connect with, they don't like change. So it's just interesting to see. Do you?
Oh, I don't like it. No. But I have to embrace change to survive. Like I like it when my football team wins. I love it. Sorry.
What tools do you use then to, to make change not as painful for yourself?
I look at more as how is this. So anything that's changed, I quickly assess and go, okay, why is this change necessary? How is it? Is it better for my growth? Is it better for the community? Is it better for what? Is it something I've got to? So I look at the benefits of why. I look at the why, and then and the next question is, what would happen if I don't change? And then you weigh it up that way. So what would happen if I don't change? Let's say, for example, weight gain's a really easy one. Let's all weight loss, right? So I've got to make a change. And the change is, let's say if I decide, let's not cut out alcohol, let's just cut out some foods, all right? So
go straight
don't cut out the thing that's going to put on the most weight. No, stuff that. But you go, so, okay, if I keep on eating a packet of Tim Tams every day, right? And somebody says, you need to change that if you want to lose weight. And I go, but why? What would happen if I don't? Well, you'll keep on putting on weight. I go, okay, that's a shit thing. That's the opposite to what I want to. What happens if I do? Well, the possibility of you losing weight is going to increase dramatically. So that's where, I do a pros and cons through that way.
That's a great way to not only embrace change, but to commit to it, isn't it? And that's the hard bit. Sometimes we go, yeah, I'm on board. And then 2 days later, not on board.
I love what Gay's got here. And Monica is, I'm being interrupted for 1 second. I'm going to be back in 38 seconds.
Go for it. The fun of being in business, guys, we all understand it pretty much on this feed. Gay, you've had 3 skip bins of junk. Wow. Well, I think 3 is not bad. 35 years, I'd have 35 bins needed, I reckon. So 3 is probably pretty good. And being a biggie, finding things tucked away, I can only imagine you'd be finding things you'd long forgotten had been there. And, tears and emotions and, wow, that's so big, Gay. Like, I've just got the utmost respect for you and the change that you're, it's like the next chapter really, isn't it? Which is pretty exciting but scary. And there's a lot of process to get to it. So thank you for sharing that. That's very, very cool. Now, mine, I'm going to bring yours up. We'll just get started. Tony will be back in a minute. When I was at the interview, I said, as long as it's flexible around what I want out of life, then it'll work. This is my time now. No more pushing or pulling, but do it because I like it. Waiting for my house to sell so I can move into what I want to do more, as I've always put things off due to not having money or time off work or something. There's always something in the way, and now I'm doing it for you. And that's exciting, Monica, because that's a massive shift of mindset and being able to look at things and also sit in that, space of, okay, I'm now, embracing what life has to offer. And I often get that reminder when I'm connecting for people or connecting to spirit, and spirit come through, and you know, the memories and the having a fulfilling life is so powerful. And that's about saying yes to the things that bring us joy. And every day I try and remind myself, you know, I obviously miss days, but there's a lot of days where I say, where's my joy coming from today? And I did a workshop on that when I was at Broken Hill the other week, and it was really, really powerful to share that message, to say, you know, if someone was to ask you what brings you joy, for many people, they can't answer it, or they're not sure of it. And sometimes it's been that long since they've connected to joy that they don't even know where to start. So I say that's a good reminder, is saying what brings you joy, and start to feed that, because we want to feed what brings us fun, you know. And I think as humans, we don't always tend to feed into the joy. We tend to, you know, we tend to focus more on the logical stuff and the things that we do day to day. So if there's one reminder that I could share on here, it is, you know, connect to your joy, and really be, you know, aware of what that is for you. So yeah, that's your reminder. Gay, what to do with your wedding dress? Wow. So Gay, is your daughter not keen to wear it? It's interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes wedding dresses are out and then you keep them long enough and they're back in. But I love Mel's suggestion here. If you can't keep it, maybe get it made into something sentimental, like a pillow, or have it framed. I love this. I love this, Mel. Gay's asking Tony about what to do with her wedding dress.
What size is it, Mel? I mean, Gay. Could have used this information a little about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, Gay. Seriously. Cost me a fortune. Size 8. No, that won't do. No. All those Irish.
It won't be Tony.
No. I don't know, Gay. Do you have much Does she have much sentimental value to it, or does she want to sell it, or what?
It would depend.
Does she want to hand it down?
You've kept it for this long, Gay. Like, you have got a granddaughter.
Yeah. Do people do that, Tonia? Do you guys still do it? Like, I think it's a lovely tradition, to be quite honest, to hand down a wedding dress.
You do hear of a lot of people that rejig them, so it might be their grandmothers, and then they get them altered, like maybe modernized, but still utilizing the bones of the dress. I kept mine for ages, and then I went, nah, I'll get rid of it. And Shelby goes, I don't know, a few months back, she goes, I would have loved to have used your dress. And I'm like, of course, because I was like,
that's right.
You won't want to wear that. I'll get rid of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I went, there you go.
Well, there you go, Gay. Just throw it out to the family, see who would want it.
I think, like, you know, I think that, yeah, trust what you feel, Gay, but you've kept it for this long. I'd be hesitant to get rid of it.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, things happen for a reason. But yeah, she's got Kate, her daughter might like the veil.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what, we all had to go buy a veil online because they are ridiculously priced. Like, they're $200 to $300 for a bit of, like, it's just a fly screen is all it really is. Ridiculous. She went online and got one for $40 secondhand. Beautiful. So keep the veil.
Yeah, that's a Hungarian way to do it.
Yeah, bloody oath, marketplace. They should have called it Hungarian Village. Would have been better.
Also, I want to go back to Renee's comment.
I was just reading that before. Yes, go for it.
So Renee's put here, just shy of 4 months in hospital. Feeling nervous about the change to back home. Always been a positive person, but this is a challenge. Knowing I still have a long way to go to function as before and to try and clean my body of unwanted products. Excited that it's close to home time, though. Wow, that's a long time, Renee, like 4 months in hospital. That would be understandable to be a bit nervous about going back home.
Absolutely. 4 months in hospital. Look, I'm glad you're coming out of hospital. I'm not too sure what you were in there for, but whatever it is, I hope it's all out and you're much, much better. So, Yeah, look, it'll be, you know what, once you get home, it'll be like you're there all the time. You're never in hospital. It'll be so much fun. You'll love it. It'll be good. You'll revert back. It'll be nice. It'll be your place.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe looking at it from fresh eyes too, Renee, maybe the fact that, and especially when it comes to healing, there was a guy that actually shared, I think it was a TikTok video or something, which is always entertaining, but it was something about either he worked with people elderly, as they'd come towards the end of their life. And he was saying, one of the biggest regrets that he's found, it's not that they spent more time with family or that kind of thing. He said one of the biggest regrets was that they didn't look after themselves well enough, and they spent the last 10 years of their life incapacitated or unwell, and looking back, wish they had looked after their body better. And I went, that's pretty incredible, because you don't, I'd never thought of that before, really.
No, you don't. You don't. You got to invest into the body quite early on, don't you? It really is.
Well, it's like, and I suppose that reminds us to listen. And Renee's obviously got a fair bit of healing time to transpire, and sometimes that can be an opportunity, Renee, to look at what you want to change and what you want to bring about as change as you're healing and moving into this second phase, because obviously you've had things go on with your body, and you've got that bit of a way to go, but maybe that's also about bringing about the way changes in the way that you look at things or do things. It might be that's a way of looking at a bit of a positive slant on how can I bring about a little bit of change in there as well.
Yep, I like that a lot. I think it's a lot of good things going on there for you, Renee, and look, do reach out to us, and always do get in touch, because it is guys just saying, oh, Renee, I still haven't done. Well, yeah, I need to get this phone call. Just hold on a second.
Yeah, I love that, Gay. Renee you haven't been to see Renee, but you have been busy, Gay. We do get that, and I'm sure Renee will understand that. But don't, and I think Gay's brought up something really relevant here. And, as women, as, I suppose, and men as well, we fail to reach out and ask for that help when we need it. So sometimes being a bit incapacitated is a great opportunity to ask for help and accept help, because we often try and be brave and soldier on, but, sometimes it's about asking for that help and putting things in motion so it does help you transition better. And trust me when I say people love to help. They really do. Gay's the best at it. If she wasn't moving house and packing up, I'm sure she would have been there already, as Gay always, it always is there for others. And there's so many more. It's such a great community in and around that area. And having lived there myself, you get to experience that firsthand. But, we often need to reach, and I think that's a really interesting lesson for us as humans to navigate is, and I'll wait for Tony to get on, but we were just talking, Tony, about reaching out to others for help when you're in that situation, like Renee, like not being scared to ask for that help that we need to get us on track.
Yeah, 100%. Look, it's one of those things, Renee. It depends what type of personality type Renee is. Some people are very good at asking for help. Like, I'll give you an example, Renee. This one, you're like a really good friend of ours and a client of the clinics comes in and he's had a couple of bouts of surgery. It's been hip and then also knee replacement and the question, and he's quite, he's got his own business and everything like that. And talk about not reading the room right. And I was like, hey, how are you going asking for help of others and being vulnerable and all that? And he goes, oh, that's easy. He goes, mate, I've been born for this. He goes, oh, I think I did it before surgery. I went, oh, geez. And then the flip side of that is we've got another client in here, and these are totally two ends of the spectrum here, Renee. Other one, very, very strong personality type, an A-type personality type, does everything for everybody else, won't ever ask for help, and to her own detriment. She's very successful in everything. She has a heart of gold, But when it comes to asking for help, she absolutely struggles, and it's to her own detriment. She's learning now. She's doing really, really well. She's actually got, people in her corner and that. What it is it's you've just got to get into the habit. People want to naturally help us. They do. It's innate, but people don't know how to help if you don't ask. So your role here, Renee, is to actually help them out so they can help you. Yeah. So and it's not a sign of weakness if you ask for somebody to cook or clean or whatever it may be. It's a way of people being able to contribute towards your life and to say, hey, it makes them feel better about themselves. It makes them feel more worthy about themselves. It gives them purpose and it makes you feel great. So you need to give that gift to others by asking for help. And you're not taking the piss out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like you're going, no, I genuinely need help here. And that's how families and communities grow, is when we can actually put a bit of energy and a bit of love into somebody that's not doing so well, so we can strengthen them back up and get them on board. So, yeah, you've got to look at it more as a gift, Renee. I know it's not easy for all of us. I know I struggled with it as well after surgery. I was very lucky to have Orla around. If I wasn't in a relationship with Orla at that point, would I have asked as many people? To be honest, no, not at all. I just got to get this phone call. Look at the stuff I do.
Isn't he the best little receptionist ever? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Rachel, I'm so excited. Picking up a car and a camper van. Woohoo! Make sure you get the WikiCamps app. That's the best $7 you'll ever spend. Get it on your phone. You find all the free camps. It's pretty cool. And also highly recommend Country Pub Camping on Facebook. There's a group, and a lot of the pubs offer free camp behind them, and you just either buy a meal or go and get a couple of drinks from them. It's a great way to support some of the outback pubs, or as you're visiting. But there's so many cool places, and Rachel's just shared, Tony, that her and Trav have got a car that they're picking up and a camper van in Albury, and then they're cruising on back up to Queensland. How exciting. I'm excited for you, Rachel. It's so cool.
And can I just say, I'm very excited for you, Rachel and Travis. And can I just say, look, Rachel, you crack me up more than ever. You make me laugh. I'm going to go back to a comment. We were talking about veils, right? This is, I picked up on this, Rachel. Let me just let you know. She says, I'm going to shop for one. I'm going to go shopping for mine if it ever happens. That's as subtle as a sledgehammer. If Travis is listening to this, mate, he's got no choice. I read that and I started laughing internally. I go, Rach, you're funny. You are funny. So good on you that you've done that.
I love it. Dropping subtle hints.
Yeah. Love it.
Us women have been doing that for years, haven't we?
I'm just going to go shopping for one if it ever happens. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm in a relationship, but I'm just not too sure if he'll ask. But, once I buy the veil, then it'd be crazy to say no. I read this one as well. Yeah, read out Jen's. This is really interesting.
Okay, so Jen put it here. I grew up with a Catholic mum and went to a Catholic school, and I remember hearing when I was young, God helps those who help themselves. And that is a definite saying that was, absolutely one that I can relate to as well. What conditioning was instilled on us not to ask for help, and here we are as adults. Yeah, I love that share because it's true, isn't it? That's sort of ingrained. It's like God help those who helps themselves, and that's a popular one. And it's instilled in us. Just get on with it. You can do it. You don't need to ask for help.
It is, but it is a conditioning thing. So I think, Jen, you bring up a really good point. I think asking for help was a sign of weakness, which is really silly, right? And I get what you're saying here, Jen. I think what you say is really, really cool. I think it's a bit of a conditioning response as well that we have had through the years. And now that I think we're getting better at asking for help from others, and we understand community more in the sense where, it feels great. Yourselves, everybody here knows how good it is to help somebody out, but it's the condition that's kept us back. No, I really like it. It's
And you know, another one that I always remind people, when you struggle to ask for help, it is about your abundance mindset, right? So if you're
Mhm.
giving to everyone, if you're the first one to step up and you'll give to everyone, but you don't accept it in return, you're blocking the abundance. And that will also come back to not having a flow of money coming in and out. And as soon as you hit on that, people go, what? It's like a,
yeah.
but it has to be an equal exchange. And that is about life. It's about giving and receiving and not being out of balance. Because if it's out of balance, you'll be blocking a lot of not only opportunities, but, you know, abundance rolling in because you're too busy giving it out. So
Yeah,
think
I
about it.
like that.
Think of it energetically, and then that can help us shift that.
Yeah, Nick's got a nice way of putting it. We always provide for others and forget about ourselves, which creates burnout. And you know what else, Nick? I reckon it creates frustration as well before you get to burnout, because you're not investing back into yourself. As you're saying, Tonya, you don't have that abundance for yourself. You don't allow that flow to come back into you, which is going to really bite you in the backside. So, yeah.
You know, and it's true. And Gay shared here, thanks for that reminder, was always told the same. In hindsight, you know, it took a village to raise us with her dad's health. And, you know, if everyone can, you know, interconnect, like we're all helping each other, and it's not about having to cost you money to do that. We can all do that easily.
No,
Just,
that's
you
right.
know, whether it's making a meal or offering help or giving someone a lift, it's, you know, the simple things.
And put it this way, I don't know about you guys, but I've never had it where I've helped somebody out from the goodness of my heart and regretted it. Gone, oh my God, I can't believe I helped that person, blah, blah, blah. By the way,
And
Costco's got $700 off LED TVs.
And
Just popped up on my screen.
You have to have that. You're a bloke. The bigger the TV, the better, isn't it?
We'll talk about Costco. Have you got Costco down in Victoria?
We have. To be honest, I've never been.
There is, for ladies and gentlemen, you guys know who've been at Costco. You go in for a browse. We went in for a browse the other day, and it cost us $350 by the time we walked out. Let's get back to what we were talking about. More important things. Yes, about doing good.
And charity sometimes begins at home, you know, like doesn't have to always be about, you know, donating to causes that are away from you. It can be close to home, you know, helping somebody out, whether it's financially or, you know, being able to donate to a cause that's close to your heart.
Yeah, whatever. And it's about giving unconditionally. You do, because you don't, there's not a currency exchange here. You don't go, I'm going to help out you out because I think you'll help me out in the future. It's like you just do it because you do it. That's what it's innate that you want to help others out. You know, it's something that makes us a human being. It's a thing that connects us as human beings, is where we can help one another out.
Those little things. Like we have, just as an example of what we do, is our neighbour who's in, he's gone into a home. So he was, you know, part of our community here, and he's got no children and his wife had died. So he's on his own. And anyway, he's in a home, and he was never like they never really thought about the future as in money wise, although he pays into his funeral fund religiously. But he ended up, everything went up. So he couldn't afford the paper. And he never told, you know, I don't get to visit him as much as I'd like to, but I do try and find time to, you know, catch up with him. And for him, there ended up, you know, the difference between him getting his pension and paying for the home that he's in, it ended up he couldn't afford to get the paper. So I didn't know, and he didn't tell anyone, right? But the paper was always something he'd love to get. He'd always get the morning paper, and that kept him informed because he's not like to, you know, he's not on social media or anything. And it wasn't till the lady in the home said to me, she said, oh, he's not getting the paper. And she said, I don't know whether, you know, he can't afford it or, you know, I don't know what's gone on, but he's not getting the paper anymore. So I just looked it up and found out that, he couldn't afford it. So we just pay for his paper. So for me, I was before that donating to other charities, and I went, you know what, this is something that's important to somebody's mental health to have his paper. And it doesn't, it's like $3 a day or something. Like it's not a lot of money, but for him, it's his one little thing. And I'm not saying that to, say how great I am, but I'm just saying how simple that helping somebody can be without, necessarily being a big thing of if you don't have time, but you have the opportunity to help someone like that. So that's a little thing that we do. And, it's great to be able to make that difference to him because he's at the end of his life. He's coming to the end of his time here on earth. So why not have a bit of joy with it?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's a nice little share there. Absolutely. It is. And Rachel, I read all your comments, by the way. I read the one about Trav apparently has to get divorced. I read these things. Don't you worry. And you make me laugh. But I love it how it doesn't stop her going, oh, look, there's a small bump on the road, but we're going to get over it really quick.
He's got to get divorced first.
Yeah, it's not a major thing, but once it happens, he's mine. But Rach does say, she goes, I found that more grateful I am for what I've done. Abundance comes more easily. I let go of toxic people and look at the opportunities that has happened. Yep. Which is quite nice. It's a really nice little thing to do. Look, do you know what? Actually, this is an interesting one too, about about creating a community. And this is going back to Renee in the beginning about let people help you out, let them do that. For example, the wedding. So when we grew up, our traditional Hungarian weddings were, all the family would cook, all the guys would set up the hall and they drive cars and everybody that came to the wedding contributed, and it was a great wedding. It was fantastic. So when Ola and I getting married, there are a whole lot of jobs, as most of you guys know, to put together a function. And a lot of people will be going, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? And Ola was like, oh, no. We don't want to put anybody out at all. We just want everybody to come up and have a good time. I don't want anybody to do anything for us. I went, hey, hold on a second, Ola. I go, the way that people will feel more connected to this wedding, if they're asking if they can help, let them do stuff. So like I've got people cooking cakes. I've got people setting up tables. I've got Andrew driving a truck. I've got, a whole lot of stuff. Because now everybody feels like there's some involvement and it's good. And although that's a happy occasion, but the thing is, I think that the whole thing is by allowing people to come in and help when they have offered help creates a pretty cool sort of vibe and they feel like they belong. And I think that's very, very important that people feel like they belong, which is one of the things. Party for a month, almost, Jen, I'll tell you what.
He will be, don't you worry. I love Jen's here. For an older person's bag of chips, as he only had enough to buy one packet and went to find a smaller one. So she paid for both big packets. Bewilderment when he drove off and smile made my day. Yeah, isn't that's beautiful?
Brilliant.
I love it.
That is pretty cool, Jen. But that's sort of like that's an off the cuff thing too, and it just shows what a nice person, Jen, you are. Like seriously, you're like, have your bigger packet, have two, go crazy. What does it matter? It's made his day, and you remember that story, Jen, and what it cost you, $3 or $4, whatever it means. Let's go crazy, it cost you $10, whatever. But for the emotional experience it gave you by being able to give to somebody that didn't want to ask for help, but that you could see it was. You're gonna remember that for a lifetime. So that $10 is worth tenfold emotionally. So it's so nice. I've just got to hang out. You know what I've got to do is if I ever see Jen, if I'm ever down in Tassie, I'm gonna jump in front of you of any queue. Just go, I don't have enough.
The Hungarian way of.
Mate, look, everybody here on TNT Thursday will jump in front of Jen. Can the person behind get it for us?
I love it. Love.
Yeah.
There you go. Jen will take you out for dinner, Tony. There you go. You can't get better than that.
Oh, that'll be lovely, actually. Yeah, that'll be very, very nice. But do I have to be in front of the queue then? No, that's very kind of you.
So are we going to be here next week, or are you going to be busy getting ready for your wedding?
Nah, stuff it. I'm here. Like,
Yeah,
I've just got to rock up Saturday at 2:30 and be at the wedding altar. That's all I've got to do. That's as simple as my life gets. Geez, it's going to be hectic, but no, I'm definitely here.
I love Gay Share. This is beautiful too. A month or so back, an elderly lady couldn't get a card to work at Audi. They sent her to another checkout, and I paid for her things. The poor love had never had anyone help her.
Oh, wow. Wow,
You know,
that's pretty cool. Gay's a
I
much
love
better person than me. So I walked right past that old lady going, far out, why is she taking so long? Gay, there's a difference between you and I. Let's be really honest right now. It's just come out. That is, can I just say, that's a lovely thing. How did that make you feel, Gay? I'm quite curious because that's a nice thing to do.
Absolutely. And Lloyd's on board. G'day, Lloyd from the US. How are you? How's Kathy going? Big hello to both of you.
And how are you, Lloyd, you've had surgery and everything that you weren't the best not long ago. Love to know how you're going. It's good that you're on board. It means you're still alive, which we're really happy to see. And yes, that's right. And Kathy as well. Just, tell us give us an update. I'll be wearing a suit and smelling good. That's it. That's what I will be doing, Monica. Don't you worry. I'll have to wear a suit. Looking forward to this.
I love it. She's European. I hope that if it had been my mum, someone would show the same kindness.
That's a nice way of looking at it, actually. Yeah. Yep.
Love it.
Yep, absolutely. Still kicking. Lloyd's still kicking. You know what I love about men? This is what I love about men. Lloyd, this is what I love about you. This is what I love about me. This is what I love about every other male. Words, we just don't have to use too many of them. Like, what's been going on in your life? How did surgery go? How did all this go? Still kicking. Let's not fluff it up with too many words. Let's just get straight to the point. I'm still feeling good, feeling better every day. That's it. That's all you need to know. I like Lloyd. I like that a lot. I do. I love it. So good to have you on board, though, mate. Really good. It is beautiful. Lloyd is still walking with a walker he had. Okay, but that's still good. So you've got some independence there, which is really, really important. Very, very important.
Absolutely. That independence is big, isn't it? And Tony, you'd have that with a lot of people that come in and you'd see them going from that to, getting more mobile. That'd be very rewarding too.
Look, yeah, it is. When we talk about surgery, we so Lloyd, you'll be able to, we look at what your goals are for post-surgery and what your expectations are. And then the surgeon's job and also our job is to try to get you towards your goals as much as you can, but also set expectations as well. So expectations might be a time frame where they go straight after surgery, after 3 weeks, I still want to be running around doing this, that, the other. And I go, well, hold on a second. I go, look, that's not possible. It is possible to go out and run and jump and do whatever you want, but the time frame might be a little bit longer. And the rehab has to be like this, this, and this, so the surgery is successful. So there's a whole lot of a re-education program that we need to put on board. And to be fair, if you're going for surgery, you've got no idea what the recovery is like, and every case is an individual. So we take that on board as well. We sit down, we listen, we go, okay, cool. What is it? How active have you been prior? Like if you're a person who just used to walk around the block once a week and then go, after surgery, I'm going to run a marathon. I go, well, mate, you never did it before. What? We'll get you there, but Jesus, you should have started before surgery. So, yeah, expectations is a big thing that if it's not done correctly, that will lead to disappointment after surgery. And also, you've got to look for a lot of things that may go wrong and have just strategies put around that. Like, let's say if surgery, there was a bit of complication or it didn't heal as well or whatever it may be. There might be excessive bruising on a nerve or something like that. That's going to take 12 months to heal effectively. So we're going to have contingency plans put into place all the time. So there's not a linear way to actually come out of recovery of surgery whatsoever. So we have to take it step by step. So it's just having good communication with your client, and that's what it is. She goes, yeah, Lloyd's goals are to walk on my own. Then I can help Kathy. Yeah, Lloyd, that's a really good one. I like that. I really like that. And you know, it's. I hope you're working with a really good either physiotherapist or exercise physiologist or something. I'm not too sure what they're called in the States, Lloyd. But we have exercise physiologists, but mainly physios that help you how to do all that kind of stuff. Physiotherapist.
Be interesting to see how it works over there if it is similar to us here.
Yeah, it would be actually. It would be. But your goals are good. You know, Lloyd, I'll just share with you a dear friend of mine, Emil, who had a stroke. He had paralysis in his left-hand side of his body, so no movement in his arm or his leg. And the doctor, Lloyd, this is what freaks me out. He said to him, so he's in a coma for 3 months, comes out, and then he goes, you can forget about walking again. He goes, you won't walk independently. And to his credit, Emil, you'll meet him at the wedding, Tonia. He went, screw that, I'm walking. And his determination for him to walk outweighed the negative input from the surgeon. And he went, screw you. To his credit, he's now walking. He can walk independently. So he does have to wear a foot caliper so that basically his ankle doesn't roll in. But he's actually gone to a lot of physio and retrained how to walk. He does walk with a walking stick, which is fine. He has to take his time. His goal, Lloyd, was to be able to dance with his wife a year after having a stroke. It was going to be their wedding anniversary, to take her out on the dance floor and have a dance. And he was able to achieve that. And that was it. So, Lloyd, if that's what your goal is, you'll achieve it. You'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Look, and there's a lot of love coming for you now. There's a lot of, yep, absolutely, you can do it. Yeah, a lot of faith in that, mate. Just keep on persevering. You'll do it.
And I love Kathy shared here, Lloyd's taking photography classes and physical therapy in progress. That's awesome.
Yep. Well done, mate.
And having known the both of you, you're very determined. So to me, I can't see you not doing it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you're going to do it. Absolutely. That's it, Lloyd. You've got the right mindset. You know, mind over matter, there's a big thing. We see this a lot in therapy. Our problem is, Lloyd, the opposite, where somebody thinks they can't do it straight after surgery. Like we've got a couple of those clients, and we have to dial them back. Dialing back somebody is more difficult than actually having somebody who's got I'm not too sure if I'll be able to walk again, and then saying, yes, you can, let's get them motivated. That's an easier client for us to deal with than it is dialing back somebody. That's really hard. Lloyd, you've got a beautiful mentality. You've got the right temperament for it, and I think the right attitude. I think you'll do really, really well. Yeah.
And everyone's on board going, yep, you've got this, Lloyd.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Absolutely. Cool. Yep. If there's, we used to have back in, Lloyd, we had this thing back in 1984. I remember this. We hosted the Commonwealth Games. I think we hosted it. Our slogan for it was, where there's a will, there's a way. And that's right. It was in LA. That was the Olympic Games. Where there's a will, there's a way to LA. And I think where there's a will, there is a way. So if your will is strong enough, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we've come to the end of our show. Can you believe it? So next week we'll be doing the pre-wedding version of TNT. Absolutely. And I'll be on the road too, Rachel. We might run into each other. I think she'll be a bit ahead of us.
Can you share that with us, right? That link?
Yeah, because that would be really fascinating.
Do you know what? Sorry to cut you off there, Ton, but it's such an interesting. These are one of my subjects that I love talking about. Is about neuroplasticity and rewiring the brain, especially after stroke. Rach, there's this girl that I did a TED talk in Sydney. Let's not talk about it. It was pretty good though. It's great reviews. But one of the people that were there was a lady called Tonia, and she was a music therapist. And what she did was she actually got an iPad, and this iPad had a keyboard on there, like a piano, and it was so sensitive to touch. And what she'll do is she got a stroke client, and then she'd put their hand on the actual iPad itself with the keyboards there, and that should play music. And you know how naturally when you hear music, you want to tap along, or you do, you want to move a little bit. So she would get the client, because this client's got no movement in their hand, and they think they're never going to be able to move again. And the neuroplasticity in the brain is saying, no, it's not working anymore. They were listening to music, and it was the subtle little movements, like I'm talking micro movements, that this iPad picked up. And what had happened was this person started to see, like, oh shit, like you could hear the keys go ding, 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 like that when they're listening to music. And they go, I can actually move this. And then belief comes back, and they start to rewire the brain and everything like that. So I'd be fascinated, Rach, with what you've got there around that kind of stuff, because, yeah, any bit really counts. But, yeah, let's get Lloyd, good luck, buddy. We've got your back. Kathy, you know what? I'm going to say this already. The amount of love and help that you're giving Lloyd is amazing, and we know that because he's here chatting away and he's doing that. Renee, I hope you got something out of today. You know, it's it's pretty cool. Yes. So my first week on TNT Thursdays being 50, it feels better than last week. Let me tell you that much. Being 50 rocks. Thank you so much, community. You guys absolutely rock. Yeah, thanks for that, Rach. That'll be great if you could do that.
And,
all right.
And thanks for sharing, Mel. That's a great one too. So
yeah, where are you going to be, Tonia? Where are you going to be?
I don't know where we'll be. I should be in Camperdown, I believe. So I'm doing a show actually next Thursday. If anyone's in the Sydney area, do a share for me. So it'll be Campbelltown. Is it Campbelltown?
Yeah, Campbelltown.
Yeah. I was saying Camden. I'm like, no, it's Campbelltown. So Campbelltown, we've got a show on. So
do you know what? You might want to use, if you're out at Campbelltown, not to stereotype, but you might want to use some of Andrew's language to actually address the crowd.
Okay.
I can be a
real girl, so I can get down and dirty. I love it.
All right. Renee's off the figure. See you later, everybody. See you next week.
Take care, everyone. And yeah, we'll catch up. We're really excited, aren't we, about next week?
I hope so.
Champagne. Gay's got it. Champagne wedding celebrations for breakfast. Love it. Love it, Gay.
Right.